But was it really 24 million? Is it 24 million?
Yeah. It was actually, people weren't believing that, but he's been saving for like years apparently.
To get a diamond in his head?
Oh yeah, that's
his net worth. Like,
that's
literally.
Well, I'm guessing the diamond itself, it must be good quality, so he's actually got it. He's got the diamond,
I don't care anything about the diamond. The idea is absolute poo-poo.
Is this a way to get attention?
It's weird as fuck.
Yeah,
the whole thing is weird. But if you watch the video, I promise you, it's his most recent video. It came out like less than a week ago. There's scenes where he's wearing even the same clothes, diamonds on, diamond off. And it's just like very confusing.
I wonder if it's like, if there's like a metal outline in his head and he can attach it in and he can take it out.
Oh, dude, that's like...
So it's like a clip in.
That's a lot.
A clip in would be funny.
Dude, when he mentions that...
Yeah.
What's
Thor,
his
how
name?
he... No, not Thor.
Marvel? Captain Marvel.
No, that's a girl.
Oh, yeah, she is.
And he's like a...
The red dude.
The red dude. Anyway.
Yeah. We'll call him Uzi for short.
Welcome back to another episode of On The Bags, UnderShelter. Today we've got Buddy Ryan. He's just given us our first ever exclusive freestyle on the show.
Yeah, man.
We're happy to have him through. Thank you very much for
My G, love, anytime, man. Anytime, man.
So, Buddy, the first UnderShelter experience, tell us a little about it. How'd you feel?
Man, I love what you guys are doing here. Like what we was talking about. I watched, previous episodes you guys did, and I just love how you make, the artists come in and they feel comfortable and they just give you, something that's raw. I think as an artist, you always love when you get like documentaries and behind the scenes on your favorite artists, because you get to understand what they're going through, the process on making the music. And I love that you guys make that sort of space for that, man.
For sure, I appreciate that. And we also really appreciate someone like yourself coming through and playing for us, because, at the moment when we haven't got that big of a following, you guys coming in and trusting us to film you and put on for you, it's a big thing. For yourself as well.
Like I told you before, I'll be the first one to say it on camera. Like, this shit is about to take over. So I love what you guys are doing. I'm happy to be a part of it, and wonderful idea, man.
I appreciate that. Now, tell us a little bit about what's been going on. What have you got? What's your music in the works? What have you been doing? You've been writing, got any shows? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Man, I say honest. I talk to a lot of my artist friends, and they'll be like, they'll have these waves of being super creative, and then they'll have a down trough to where they're like not making anything, and they get frustrated about the time where they're not making anything. But I think that up and down of creating and not creating is like healthy and normal as fuck.
Definitely.
So for me, I went through, what are we in, March now? Yep. I went through my down trough, and now I'm easing up to like pumping out so much music. So yeah, man, I think for me, I just been creating as much as possible over the last maybe 3 weeks. Like the tracks that I did today, I made in the last week.
Yeah.
And I just feel real good about it. I got some more music that's coming out in April. But yeah, man, I think it's an interesting time for all artists, because obviously, with COVID, things are like starting to reopen.
Definitely.
And just finding your feet. But
I've actually been, the first few weeks of the show, when I was still getting used to the whole interview thing, I was getting a bit nervous. The only thing I would ask is about COVID. So I tended to shy away from that question now, but you've brought it up.
Yeah.
That you've got a really good point, because a lot of artists going through this corona lockdown period, you can't do shows.
Yeah.
You're stuck in your own room. It's hard to even collaborate with others.
Yeah.
A lot of people have taken one path, who have been super focused, getting a lot of writing done. Others have kind of dropped off and not made as much music. Tell us a bit about your time in lockdown, and what were you kind of feeling through the lockdown period?
Man, I think I felt like everybody else felt. Like there's times where I was going out of my mind,
Yeah.
But I think for me, the thing about making music for me is whether I made a dollar from a single song or a single melody or not, I make music as like therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, going through COVID, it was prime, like fertile ground for fucking creating songs. And that's really all I did. So like, what are we're fresh in 2021. Since we got in a lockdown here in Australia, that was like maybe March of last year. Man, I made like, 60 something songs since that time. So I guess the way I dealt with it was by just cooking up and locking down at my studio at home and is making as much music as possible.
Yeah, that's sick. I really like. 'Cause I mean, that shows that you are really an artist, and something as hard as that is not going to slow you down. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's just a feeling, you know.
Tell us. So you're originally from America.
Yep.
What's the give us? And you said you moved to LA.
Yeah.
After high school.
Yep. So I grew up in Connecticut on the East Coast.
Yep.
Went to high school, all that there, and then once I finished, I moved to LA for college.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in LA for 6-7 years, and then I came here to Australia. But I didn't actually put music out until I came here to Australia. So, like back in LA, I would go to studio sessions with, you know, various artists. Doesn't matter who it was, but I would always be there and like contribute to helping write songs.
For real.
And then once I came here, I found like a fucking great group of friends who are all musicians, and then that's where I was like, okay, it's now time to like start cranking music out.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
and
man.
How would you compare? It can be a silly question, but how would you compare your music experience in LA to Melbourne?
Well, I think back in LA, I was fortunate enough because I started making the dude who got me into writing songs for other people was, I think I came in at like a lucky tier than like the average person.
Yeah.
So it was like, I've been, you know, like for instance, I've been writing poems since I was like in 3rd, 4th grade. So I've always been a wordsmith.
Okay.
So to write songs was easy. But back in LA, I feel like I got like an easy pass to it. And then once I came here to Australia, I had to start all the way over. I had to like, you know, find new producers and like completely rebuild. And I think that's worked in my favor because now when I go back and I deal with my connects from back home, it's different because there's no handouts. It's like the shit that I built on my own. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's like a new you coming back over there.
Exactly.
No, that's cool. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Buddy, there's a little bit of a tradition that's been on our show. I'm my part-time job and a passion of mine has been tasting and drinking wine. It's a strange passion to have.
It's not your job to taste wine.
I know. It's not my job to taste wine. It's my job to sell wine.
If that was a job,
it'd be a top job. But
I'm applying.
we've got a bottle of wine for you today, buddy. Get the money shot.
There we go.
Now, for our first freestyle, I had to break out something nice. I couldn't come in ill prepared for here.
Okay.
So we got a 2015 McLaren Vale Shiraz. Now I don't know if that means much to you, but
It sounds nice.
it's good. So we're gonna crack it open. There you go.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Buddy's got his friend Ash here, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to my man Ash. He's freshly back into the city. I dragged him down here because
to be on UnderShelter soon.
Exactly, man.
Okay, let's get a Benners.
Little drop's cool. Thanks.
Should drop. Benners has got to drive. Are you driving, buddy?
Thick in the sauce. I'm okay.
Okay.
He didn't say yes or no. He just said I'm okay.
Oh, we'll get a little bit. We got a little more.
Presence is.
There we go.
You gotta relax.
I got a question.
What's up?
Like,
And this is sorry. Just
yeah, I got my camera on. Also,
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Camera.
this is the guy Ben.
yeah. Like, obviously, like the hip hop voice sounds natural when it's in like American accent. How do you feel about like Australians and stuff?
This is a good question.
Because Australians, I
Should've
feel
asked this
they
myself.
don't respect like other Australian hip hop artists because of their voice.
Yeah.
They hear it and it doesn't sound as natural as it does to them because they've grown up listening to like British or American hip hop. How do you feel about Australians changing their voice?
Well, I think to be honest, man, the thing about music and being an artist for me is to be unapologetically yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's like changing their voice, I don't know. The way I would look at it, honestly, like the way we grew up, if somebody's being who they not, you look at them like, you gotta relax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I never think, if you Australian, if you got a fucking accent,
Yeah.
rap with the fucking accent.
That's it.
Don't worry about how you sound. Worry about your bars or or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
don't try to sound like what you're not, because that's unauthentic.
Yeah.
And we only do it like when I write a song or when I work on something or when I work with people. Like I want them to be like deeply themselves and like truly human. Like the more human you could be, the better the art will come out. And if you're trying to change that sound, then you're missing something.
Yeah.
So it's
the
like-
one thing I would say to that is there's a lot of really talented hip hop people who are coming up at the moment who do have a slightly American twinge to their voice. But what I would kind of put that down to, and what I've heard a lot of them say, is that they've been listening to American rap their entire life. They've never wanted to listen to the Australian sound. And so what they've been listening to, they're trying to play what they like, what they listen to.
Yeah.
And so that comes through with that bit of American tinge.
Yeah. Well, see, it's the influence, and I get that, but at the same time, it's like, if it's the influence, fine, but I'm never for you like trying to
be
sound.
someone else.
Yeah. Like, please just be yourself, because that's what makes you unique.
Yeah,
When
that's
you
what's
try
going to get you over the line.
Exactly, man. Like,
I think
you got to be yourself.
Andre 3000 said that in interviews. Like, for the first part of his career, he was trying to rap with, like, a New York accent because he hated the Southern accent.
Nah.
And as soon as someone said, just do the Southern thing, he started a whole genre.
It's different.
Everyone was like, yo, we want Southern rappers and stuff. Now look at
Yeah.
Atlanta hip-hop. It's huge.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way. Like,
Yeah.
you got to sit down, meditate, maybe fucking meditate before you start writing. You know what I mean? Like, be all the way yourself, and then you get to it. Don't do anything else.
I mean, I hate to play devil's advocate here, but there's something that just sounds a bit strange about the Australian accent rapping. It's just...
It just doesn't seem, for a lot of people, it doesn't sit quite right.
It doesn't sit quite...
But
There's a...
I think
And I love a lot of Australian rappers, but there's just something when they pronounce a couple of words, it just doesn't... it doesn't hit the same.
See, I don't know. And I listen to Australian artists, and I don't feel that. I've never heard like someone who raps, and a lot of my homies are like, you know, Aussie, like, you know, I get, yeah, a lot of my homies rap with Australian accents, and I can honestly say for myself at least that I've never heard them and was like, I don't feel that because your accent.
I think it's mostly Australians listening to
Because
it.
they're
Listen to other
comparing-
Australians,
Yeah,
comparing
and
each
it's
other
not
stuff, man,
about
yeah.
you shouldn't compare it, man. Like, artistry is artistry. Oh man, you gotta. What you doing?
I was just sniffing it just to make sure it
All
was...
right.
Make sure it was ready.
Make sure it was good.
I already
Sure it
sipped
was
mine.
ready.
Okay, anyway, let's have a sip.
Let's. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Now it's a 2015 McLaren Valstraz, if anyone was wondering at home. So you got to give it a sniff.
Fuck, I just sipped mine straight away.
Tell us what
I heard it.
What notes are you getting?
High notes.
Fuck, that's good.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, it's good. It's fucking tasty, man.
All right, jump in, treat yourself, see what we get.
Tequila boy.
He's a tequila boy.
Gotta whip that out.
Gotta think of the sauce, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I should ask people before they come on, you want wine or tequila? I should just make that a thing.
I think you should.
I actually had a couple of shots of the Don Julio 42 the other night.
You know what? I've never had the Don.
You never had the Don?
I've never had the Don.
Not even the cheapish ones?
I didn't know there was cheapish ones.
Oh, there's a couple different varieties.
I would probably get the Don.
But I tell you what, the Don, the 42, you think it's more expensive, so it's like smoother, but it's smooth, but it still hits.
Yeah.
Still hits.
I have to try it, man. I'm a tequila guy. You know, for me, like, I've never tasted alcohol that tastes good. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not hard to please. I usually sip, because different alcohols will give you a different vibe.
Yeah.
Like, you sip enough red wine, it'll chill you out, but if you have a little bit more, it'll keep you up. You know what I mean? It's different. So it's like, yeah, I've been fucking with the tequila today. I ain't going.
What do you think about? What do you think of the red? Give us your opinion.
Oh man, red is my go-to for wine. I taste a little rose ember.
Rose ember?
Yep, a little bit of end of the rainbow sort of flavor.
Well, you should be. The McLaren Valley should get that dry spice. So the rose ember is actually pretty good. Pretty good analysis. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm sure.
Well done.
I'm
Very
sure.
cool.
I appreciate it.
All right, buddy Ryan. Thank you so much for
you.
coming through. It was
Man.
awesome having you in. You've got so much
Man.
left in the music career. You're gonna absolutely kill it. Thank you very much.
Man, and thank you for you guys, man. Like, seriously, like, you know, I appreciate what you're doing. It's just lovely to have this sort of space. And yeah, I'm sure this shit's gonna take off, man. We're gonna look back at this in the future and be like, this is the early days.
These are the early days.
Yeah, man.
We got to have you back in. That's the thing.
Anytime, G.
Easy. Thank you so much.
Anytime,
Thanks,
bro.
buddy.
Yeah,
Dope.
man, anytime.
Good sesh. Good interview. So what do you enjoy?
Yeah, I think it's terrific.
Okay, and that's yours.
Oh, is it?
It's a little present
Oh
from us to
man,
you.
I appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna save that.